Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous Friday Ramblings. That's right, it's Friday, and it's time for me to discuss all the pop culture perfection that I enjoy. And hopefully, you will enjoy too after we discuss it. And I did go ahead and promise on the previous episode, which please watch if you didn't catch it last week. Ooh, a little sinus fun, it is December, folks. That we are going to talk about some manga. Because we haven't talked about manga in a few episodes now. So, I figured we're due. Specifically, I want to talk about a classic manga that sadly is infamous in America, but never really struck big. Like a lot of anime and manga does, which is sad because it is a brilliant one. I'm talking about Oh My Goddess. Now, this is a nice thick release, and we're going to discuss the thickness of this book in a bit. But this is main female, Belle Dandy. Definitely going to talk about her in a second, but let's go ahead and get... Whoop! Sorry about that, folks. I'll leave that little outtake in, because I do promise that I do these things unedited and very much straight from the brain to you. That should be a lesson to other vloggers and myself to try and keep things secure. Yeah. Definitely gonna have to come up with a better rig in 2020. So, the Oh My Goddess, sometimes translated as Ah My Goddess. So, I may bounce back and forth between both because both have been used interchangeably here in America, is a romantic comedy manga series written and illustrated by, and again, I'm going to horribly butcher this as classic tradition, Kosuke Fujishima. It was serialized starting in September 1988 and ended in 2014, marking July 23rd, 2014, which was the last release of the collected volume. So, in that one form or another, you're looking at 26 years of publication before they got to the finale. Now, as I said, it is a romantic comedy. It's got a lot of magic elements to it. Basics of it is that college sophomore Keiichi Morisato, through quite literally accidental dumb luck, manages to contact the Goddess Helpline on his phone, and upon the Goddess Belle Dandy showing up in his dorm room and offering him one wish, because that's what she does, she's a goddess that helps, he, not really able to think of anything, and being kind of a bit of a loser when it comes to romantical pursuits, very quickly gets a big time crush on her, and being just a little paranoid about the setup and thinking that, this is probably a prank that my dorm buddies are playing on me because they've done this kind of thing before to me, just blurts out the first thing that came to his mind. Okay, yeah, you want to know what I wish for? I wish a great woman like you would stay with me for the rest of my life. Well, Belle Dandy granted the wish in the most literal way possible. She herself is now with Keiichi for the rest of his life. So there's your basic setup. Like, literally, you see early in the series that the greater powers of the universe conspire to cause both lucky and unlucky things to happen whenever anybody on the unlucky side tries to drive the two apart, or they just plain try to walk away from each other with the intent to not reunite. Or on the lucky side, conspire to create a setup where they can stay together. First major hurdle is that he lives in a male-only dormitory. But being a poor college student, he can't afford an apartment. So, after about 24 hours or so of misadventure, they stumble upon a local temple that's being inhabited by one Buddhist monk who, encountering Belldandy and sensing her highly spiritual and angelic nature, suddenly decides that he clearly is not that wonderfully gifted as a religious person, goes off on a pilgrimage, and leaves the temple in Belldandy and Keiichi's hands. So bam! Now they got a residence. And the thing is, that is the nature of Belldandy. While she is officially referred to as a goddess, as both her name as well as the names of the other goddesses we meet in the series and a lot of the aspects of their heavenly realm are inspired by Norse mythology, as far as the way that Belldandy's powers work and her relative rank and responsibilities, at least before the wish that made hanging with Keiichi her 24/7 365 job, she is, to all intents and purposes, an angel. She has big angel wings. She usually keeps them hidden most of the time, but, you know, they're there. Very early into the series, Belldandy's two sisters, Erd and Skuld, move in, residing in the temple and, in their own ways, experiencing mortal life and both helping and hindering Keiichi and Belldandy's relationship as it slowly, at a snail's pace, because they are both goofy, pure-hearted people, move towards genuine romance. And that's basically all you need to know about the series. Folks help Keiichi and Belldandy, folks help themselves, folks get mischievous for the sake of being mischievous. Magic happens. There you go. Now, besides the manga, which has been collected in various formats in a variety of countries, the series has been adapted to animated form for those people who are not so much big on the reading, especially with the manga where, you know, you read it essentially backwards, like this instead of like this. You know, some people just feel like it's harder for their brain to adjust to that than others. So, for those people, you can experience some Oh My Goddess fun via animation. Now, we originally started out with a 5-part OVA series in 1993, each OVA running approximately 30 minutes. And this is what in America was originally called, I believe that one was, that was originally titled Oh My Goddess, which is where most people in America are familiar with the series. As I said, it is a series that is infamous in the American anime community because it was one of the first that was brought over to America with pretty regular distribution. Most hobby stores did in fact have at least one VHS tape, if not the whole set, for the Goddess, essentially miniseries. Now, eventually, in 1998, we would get a return of the goddess material in animated form. This time they took the kind of between chapter short stories from the manga, in which the various goddesses would shrink themselves down to, like big, as a way of basically varying up their life, seeing things from a new perspective, quite literally. This was done to essentially go, as I said, little short, 3-4 page type things, intermission type stuff between the main stories, but also to pull away from the romantic undertone and just do pure gag comedy type stuff. So they did basically a whole 48 episode series about this called Adventures of the Mini Goddesses. Eventually we would get a Ah My Goddess theatrical movie. Ran 100 minutes, so hour 40 minutes for those people who like to look at it in that way, in October of 2000, followed by a 50 episode, over 2 seasons anime series. First season was just Oh My Goddess, second season was subtitled Flight to Fancy. And since then we have had a 2-part OVA subtitled Fighting Wings and a 3-part OVA titled Together Forever. Now, as we said, the manga itself ran approximately 26 years, and in it covered 308 individual chapters. And the manga is what we're going to mainly focus on. I have seen the original 5-part OVA. I have seen the theatrical movie from 2000. I have seen both seasons of the original, or of the full anime. I have not seen the more recent OVAs, but most of that I've only seen once because I did not buy them to own. It was through rental services. For those really young folks who have only experienced streaming and internet watching types, downloading fun stuff, ask your parents to explain disc rental concepts to you. Or, again, if you're really old, as Oh My Goddess is, VHS rental concepts. In fact, you're probably going to have to get them to explain VHS to you. It's a fun time. Now, more serious things do occasionally happen in the manga because, you occasionally have to have a sense of danger and trouble to break up the more comedic nature things. Well, Lani herself would later enroll at the college with Keiichi. When he would graduate, she would occasionally help him at his job where he was working for a local small business run by a former graduate who was in the automotive program with him. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Keiichi is a vehicle mechanic. That's his major in college, and that is his eventual job. A bit of a gearhead, as they say. Now, this, as I said, is an official American release of the manga series. And it is done by Dark Horse. And Dark Horse has owned the American publishing rights to Goddess since pretty much the get-go. And here's where things get a little bit of a bummer. And part of the reason I wanted to discuss this today. See, originally when Dark Horse, who primarily does American comics, published Goddess, they did it in American comic book style. Nice, big, thin, 20 odd pages. Basically, each issue was one of the individual chapters. And to give you a sense of, again, how big a chapter is, There are, in this volume, 23 chapters. So yes, that does about equate to a monthly comic book issue here in America, the way we publish them page count wise. And that was fine. I do not believe they finished the entire manga series because, as I said, it was kind of one of those things that was in the background of the anime community. It does have a strong cult following here in America, but it has always been a smaller cult following. It has never been a big hit in America like your Naruto, One Piece, Death Note type stuff. So this was a more recent re-release by Dark Horse. They got into the omnibus business, and they got 6 volumes done before, I'm assuming sales not being what they needed them to be, they decided to quit publishing the omnibuses. Whew, pardon me folks, a little post-dinner recording here. Again, we're very real on this show. But yes, as I said, they got 6 volumes of these omnibus editions out. Now, here's a little math for you. I told you, this thing ran for 26 years. They published 308 volumes. 23 volumes, approximately, per omnibus. That is not perfect math. That is far from perfect math. Simple fact is, they only got to 104 chapters. Computer's having some fun with me. Just tweak that a little bit, folks. Sorry about that. But yeah, we only got through just a skosh over a third of the manga series published in omnibus format. And since the original comic edition did not get all the way through and is extremely hard to track down because of the age of the series and that it was being done by a smaller publisher and it was a side series project for them, it was not one of their core title books, like, say, Hellboy, which I'm sure many people know thanks to various live-action movies. It's one of these things where if you want to read the entire manga, you're going to have to hope for fan scanlations. Sorry, I realize I just used a term not everybody watching may be familiar with. Scanlation is a shorthand way of saying digitally scanned and translated. This is something that's really big in the manga community, where people will take a series that has not been commercially translated and they will scan it onto their computer and translate it and write out, English lettering in place of the Japanese lettering so that people can read it, since they don't have the option of buying a official release. And there's nothing against the fan scanlation community. I'm in no way trying to make what they do sound less than it is. It is an extremely time-consuming thing to scanlate, and when they are doing it for stuff that has no commercial release and may never get a commercial release, it is a boon to the community because it allows us to experience more product than we can get our hands on easily. Frankly put, anytime you can get more reading options to your readers, that is a great thing. Now, I'm not going to judge Dark Horse because, as I said, Dark Horse is a business, and I'm sure that it was a matter of sales figures. I'm sure it was a matter of hard math because that's how businesses tend to make their decisions. By and large, usually if something is canceled partway through, it's because sales aren't where they need to be, and that's just the nature of things. But it hurts me as a fan of this series because it is such a brilliant balance of the romance, the classic sitcom style comedy, the inspiration of the Nordic mythology via an author who was born and raised in Japan, which is not a country highly influenced culturally by Norse mythology generally. It's just such a unique and interesting package that I want to see all of it. I want to be able to read the entire saga. You know, as a reader, that hurts me when I can't have quality publishing of the entire saga. When I know there's more out there and I can't get it in such a wonderful format, because these omnibuses are wonderful formats. You know, I've got a lot of manga in omnibus format. It's the kind of thing that when I'm going after older established series, if there is an omnibus version, I will almost always default to that because, you know, the thing about comic style as a storytelling medium, because you will have relatively little dialogue per page, because most of the page is devoted to the art, and again, I'm not making any kind of judgments here, I'm just stating the nature of the medium. You're in a situation where it can be very quick reads. So if you've only got 4 or 5 chapters in your collection, you can read through a single small volume relatively quickly. Again, I have plenty of those too, because those are the series where I was collecting them as they came out. And I mean, there's a reason when I sit down to read them, or even when I get a new volume of a series that hasn't concluded yet, I'll go ahead and grab the last couple volumes, not just to remind me where I am in the story, but because I can read through a single volume like that for most series. You know, when I sit down to read, I want to have a time of it. So that's what makes omnibuses great, is it's a good time investment balance. And it's great art. Like, you know, here, let me get you a good page here that's got a good balance of scenery and like, look at this page. Like, you got a good balance of the standard character looks, their cartoony reaction looks. You got some great backgrounds here. This is wonderful art that fits the lighthearted love story style of its genre beautifully. All the props in the world to Fujishima-san. Or even Sama. Because I have all the respect in the world for him. Besides Oh My Goddess, he did another series that is very well known and very popular in Japan and has a good strong following here in America, called You're Under Arrest, which again is comedic in nature, but as the title hints, centers around a local law enforcement group. And I mean, that's just the thing. This is a wonderful series. I hate that I can't just tell you, hey, go on your favorite bookstore service, whether website or brick and mortar, and order the whole series. Because there is no whole series collection out, because it is not a series that is super duper popular here in America, but that can always change. As far as I know, Dark Horse still owns publishing right. They can always pick up the omnibus collections again if there's demand. So go out, buy the other 6 volumes. I have the rest on my shelf. I don't really feel the need to throw all of them at your view all at once, but go check them out. If you're not into the reading style, Go check out the anime. Go check out the theatrical movie. Give the series a chance to wow you, because if you like that kind, if you like lighthearted, romantic stuff with a great sense of comedy, with a variety of supporting characters who get their own stories and get their own time to develop, you're going to love this series. I really think you will. I highly recommend it. So, go out, seek out the goddess Beldandi and her mortal lover Keiichi. Enjoy their journey together. Spread the word. That's what we're doing here today, folks, because this is a series that deserves... little shake shake, not full fall down this time. But this is a series that deserves more notice, that deserves more chances to really get people behind it. Because I don't know why you wouldn't like it. It's got so many little flavors to it, with the magic element, with the the romantic story here, with the sibling rivalry sitcom fun of it, with just supporting characters that are just so inherently goofy that you can't help but laugh at them when they're not even trying hard to be funny. Just the characters are so brilliantly designed as comic relief. All they have to do is be there, and you're smiling in anticipation of what's going to happen next. So, that's my sales pitch. That's my history breakdown. That's my plea. You can listen to it, or you can go click on the next video. Hopefully still on the Roulette Productions channel. But consider it. Think about it. Go look up some trailers online. Sample it. Because, this is a good author. He does excellent work. And I'm always of the opinion that great writers like Fujishima-sama should always be given a chance. 30 minutes of your life. Check out the first episode of the anime series. Read through the first few chapters. It's 30 minutes. You spend more time than that looking for cute cat videos on YouTube. And then, come back. Watch me next week. We're going to talk about something else. Might be Christmassy, might not. Depends on my mood. I will tell you one thing. It's not going to be crazy screaming ranting, because what do we say here at the Ramblings? You can criticize, but be constructive about it. We want to grow, not tear down. Peace, love, and appreciation to all my viewers. Bye-bye.